You treating your car like a moving van is quietly shredding its lifespan. Every vehicle has a gross vehicle weight rating, what it was engineered to carry including passengers, cargo, and fluids. Go over that, and you're forcing the engine, transmission, cooling system, brakes, and even the frame to work harder than they were ever meant to. I once saw a guy cram 10 bags of cement into a 4-cylinder Corolla. A week later, blown head gasket, overheated engine, cracked radiator, slipping transmission. That's what overload does. Runs the engine hotter, stresses the cooling loop, cooks the transmission, and torches fuel economy. It's not just heavy loads. Cramming 6 adults, towing beyond rating, or piling on gear without checking the door sticker is the same slow poison. Respect the payload and tow numbers, or be ready to replace parts early. The fix is simple. Know your car's limits, spread weight intelligently, and don't substitute brute force for proper planning. Overloading isn't dramatic. It's cumulative. Every extra pound is shorthand for overheating, premature wear, and surprise breakdowns. Keep it within spec, and you're buying miles instead of expensive repairs. You think those 1-3-mile errands, school drop-offs, and quick grocery runs are easy on your engine? Wrong. They're stealth wearing it out faster than anything else. When the engine never reaches full operating temp, around 230 kg/h, the oil can't burn off moisture and fuel vapors. Condensation builds up, mixes with fuel and oil, and turns into a milky sludge that coats internals, gums up lifters, and creates varnish. Silent corrosion happening under the hood while you pat yourself on the back for driving less. I tore down a supposedly well-maintained Toyota with only 80,000 miles, and inside it looked like a 300,000-mile engine because of nothing but short trips. Here's the fix. Once or twice a week, take it on a 15 to 20-minute highway drive. Get it hot. Let the oil do its job, burn off the water, and reset what those short trips wrecked. Driving less doesn't equal less wear. Half-warmed engines wear faster. So stop babying it with micro-runs and give it the heat cycle it needs, or quietly watch the internals degrade while you think you're being gentle. When a timing belt snaps, it doesn't warn you. It just goes pop, and in 1 second a perfectly fine engine becomes scrap, especially on interference engines where valves and pistons collide. Bent valves, cracked pistons, broken camshafts. You're staring at $2,500 to $5,000 or more in damage before you even blink. This isn't hypothetical, it's replayed over and over in shops. So, when do you replace it? Every 60,000 to 100,000 miles depending on the vehicle. Check the manual or ask a mechanic who knows that platform. And while you're in there, don't be cheap. Replace the water pump, tensioner, and idler pulleys too. You've already paid for the labor. Stacking those replacements is insurance against waiting for a catastrophic failure. Common engines that get killed by a failed timing belt include older Hondas, Accords, Civics from the 90s, 2000s, Toyota 4Runners, and Tacomas with V6 from the early 2000s, Subaru Outback Dark Legacy 2.5L, non-turbos, Mitsubishi Lancers and Gallants, and the notorious Chrysler EU Dodge 2.7L V6. Don't wait for a sign. The only sign you'll get when it's too late is a dead engine. Change it before it breaks. That little amber light isn't a suggestion. It's your car screaming for help before small problems turn into expensive disasters. People drive for months with it on. Everything sounds fine. Then suddenly they're down a melted catalytic converter, scorched pistons, or a transmission stuck in limp mode. What started as a $50 fix ballooned into a 2,000 Aussie because repair because they ignored the warning. Here's the real breakdown of what common codes mean so you know what to act on early. PWO 171, P0 Dividend 4, running too lean, air, fuel imbalance. P0 300, P0 308, random, multiple misfires or specific cylinder misfires. Plugs, coils, fuel. P0 420, catalyst efficiency low. Your cat converter is failing. PO440, PO455. EV-EP leaks, loose gas cap or purge valve issues. P0113. Intake air temp sensor high, messes with fuel mixture. PU128. Coolant temp below threshold, stuck thermostat, poor efficiency. P0325. Knock sensor malfunction, timing control compromised, risk of knock. P0133. P0153. Slow O2 sensor response, bad sensor or clogged cat. Fixing these early is cheap. Letting them fester costs you big. Grab a $25 OBD2 scanner, plug it in, read the code, and either address it yourself or take it somewhere with the info. Most parts stores will scan it for free. Use that. Don't let a blinking light become a blown engine. Your engine is only as good as the spark that lights it. Cheap, wrong, or worn-out plugs cause misfires, rough idle, poor fuel economy, and can cascade into bigger problems. Bad combustion, stress on coils, overheated cats, trouble codes like P0300 series, and long-term damage. Don't grab $2 gas station specials. Use properly gapped, high-quality plugs, platinum or iridium on modern engines, or OEM. Replace them every 60,000 to 100,000 miles per your model's spec, gap to factory if not pre-gapped, and avoid mystery brands. Spend the extra $20 now or pay thousands later for coils, catalytic converters, or worse. Your engine breathes. Feed it dirty or crappy air and you're suffocating performance, economy, and longevity. A clogged or cheap filter chokes airflow, fouls the air-fuel ratio, drops MPG, dulls throttle response, and lets abrasive dust grind down piston rings and cylinder walls. I've pulled filters out looking like rat nests, even had one with a mouse living in the box. Those bargain bin no-name filters don't seal right. They let in sand and debris that quietly eat your engine. Fix it. Stick to quality. OEM, Wix, Fram Ultra, Bosch, or K&N if you clean it properly. Replace every 15,000 to 30,000 miles, sooner in dusty environments. Quick test. Hold it up to light. If you can't see light through it, toss it. Don't let cheap shortcuts turn into internal wear you can't undo. If your car's sluggish, idles rough, or suddenly drinks more gas, don't replace spark plugs or injectors first. Your MF sensor is probably filthy. That little sensor tells the computer how much air is coming in. When dust, oil vapor, or grime fouls it, the engine gets the wrong fuel mix and starts running like garbage. People spend hundreds chasing symptoms when 5 minutes and a $70 can of proper MF cleaner fixes it. Here's the right way. Unplug it, carefully remove it, spray it gently with a dedicated MAF cleaner, never brake cleaner or carb spray, let it air dry fully, and reinstall. Don't touch the sensor wires, they're fragile. Do this every mature 12 months or 15,000 miles, especially if you drive in dusty conditions or use oiled filters. Symptoms of a dirty MF: rough idle, hesitation, stalling, poor fuel economy. Clean it first. Save the expensive parts replacement for when it's actually needed. Most drivers don't even know what a PCV valve is, and that's exactly why it quietly destroys engines. It's a $10 part that controls crankcase pressure by routing blow-by gases back into the intake. When it clogs or sticks, pressure builds, and that pressure pushes oil past seals, ruins gaskets, fouls spark plugs, cracks valve covers, and can even blow out rear main seals. I've seen engines where sludge stacked up like chocolate pudding because the PCV was stuck shut, and I've seen vacuum leaks from a stuck-open valve causing oil starvation. This isn't theoretical. Ignored PCV failures turn into 2,000 Hogshead disasters in ways most people never connect. The fix is stupid simple. Replace the PCV valve every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. Sooner if you do a lot of short trips or notice odd oil leaks or performance symptoms. It takes 5 to 15 minutes on most cars, cheap insurance for the whole engine. Don't let a tiny, forgotten valve create massive internal pressure that eats seals and builds sludge. Swap it regularly, and if you're diagnosing weird oil behavior or dropped fuel economy, check the PCV before chasing expensive symptoms. Warming up your engine isn't the same as letting it sit and idle forever. Too much idle time is just as damaging as cold flooring. Start it. Let it run 30 to 60 seconds, then drive gently. Long idling keeps the engine below optimal temp, so fuel doesn't burn clean. Carbon builds up, especially on direct injection intake valves. Oil pressure stays low, upper end parts like cams and lifters starve, and sludge forms. Remote starts, or sitting with AC on for minutes. That's slow damage. The sweet spot: short idle, then roll off slowly so everything comes up to temperature under light load. If you jump in, fire it up, and immediately mash the throttle, you're eating engine life. Cold oil is thick, like molasses, so until it circulates, internal parts are grinding metal on metal. Let it idle 30 to 60 seconds, then drive gently for the first 5 to 10 minutes. Low RPMs, no towing, no flooring it. That gives oil, coolant, and transmission fluid time to come up to temp. Turbo engines are even more fragile on cold starts. Those spinners hate dry starts at high speed. Warming up isn't old-school fluff. It's the single easiest way to cut the 90% of wear that happens before your engine ever feels hot. There's no such thing as a small oil leak. It's a ticking time bomb. That tiny seep you ignore can cascade. A valve cover drip soaks a timing belt. It slips, bends valves, and suddenly you're staring at a rebuild. Leaks don't just make a mess. They wreck oxygen sensors, destroy rubber belts, fry electrical connectors, and when oil hits hot exhaust parts, you're flirting with fire. Modern engines also quietly burn oil. So while you're shrugging off that drip, the level is dropping. By the time the warning light shows, you're already a quart or more low. The fix is simple and preventative. Crawl under with a flashlight, smell for burning oil, look for crusty buildup, and don't wait. Catch the leak early, repair it, and you've just avoided a failure that could cost thousands. Changing oil is only half the battle. Using the wrong oil quietly kills engines. Every spec on that bottle matters. The 5W tells you how it flows cold, lower, thinner in winter for easier starts, and the 30 is how thick it stays at operating temperature. Dumping 10W40 into an engine that calls for 5W30 messes with flow rates stresses the oil pump and accelerates wear. Synthetic isn't marketing fluff. It lasts longer, resists heat breakdown, and flows better in extreme cold, which is why it's what you run if you want 500 km miles, especially on modern, turbo, or high-stress engines. Synthetic blends are a compromise, okay for older leaking engines if you're not trying to push them forever. Conventional oil is cheap, but it degrades faster, so if you're stuck with it, change it more often. Bottom line, always follow the owner's manual, don't guess, and don't trust whoever's just grabbing something off the shelf. The wrong oil doesn't just cost performance, it kills engines. Forget the marketing nonsense about 15,000 miles. Engines don't fail suddenly. Bad habits kill them. Here's the real rule I live by. First oil change at 1,000 miles to flush out factory metal debris. Then every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, or every 6 months, whichever comes first. Never stretch it. Letting it go longer is grinding metal on metal before you even hear a sound. If you do your own changes, cut open the filter, inspect the pleats for metal, and shine a flashlight in the drain pan. If you see a metallic shimmer, internal wear has already started. Skip the synthetic hype and lab tests. This is real-world prevention. Stick to the 5,000-mile or 6-month cap and you avoid the $12,000 surprise repair that comes from letting wear go unchecked. Coolant isn't a lifetime fluid. Those 100,000-mile or lifetime claims are a trap. After about 5 years of heat cycling, even long-life coolant breaks down, turns acidic, and starts silently eating your engine from the inside. rotted water pumps, blown head gaskets, clogged heater cores, and chewed-up seals. You'll see symptoms like white exhaust smoke, misfires, disappearing coolant with no visible leak. Those are signs the coolant has turned on you. Fix it right. Flush and replace coolant every 5 years or 50,000 miles. And while you're in there, swap the thermostat every 50k, 80k miles too. A stuck thermostat can cook your motor in minutes. Cheap fluid and a small valve now beat a 1,000-piece meltdown later. Sticky, throttle, response, hunting, RPMs. Rough idle, those aren't mysterious gremlins, they're carbon gunk choking the throttle body. When the plate can't move cleanly, airflow is disrupted, the computer compensates with messed up fuel trims, and you end up with stumbling, hesitation, misfires, and wasted fuel. That gradual degradation hides until it's obvious and costly. The fix: every 50,000 miles, crack open the throttle body and wipe away the carbon buildup. It's a few minutes, costs almost nothing, and keeps the airflow smooth so the engine doesn't have to fight itself. Clean it before symptoms show. Prevention here saves you from cascading drivability issues. You've just heard the habits that quietly turn a disposable engine into a 700,000-plus mile survivor. None of them are glamorous, just consistent, smart prevention. Heavy loads, short trips, bad fluids, ignored warnings, and corner cutting add up. These 13 habits, plus the bonus coolant and throttle body tips, flip the script. Do a few today, keep a simple checklist, and let compounding care buy you decades of trouble-free miles instead of surprise repairs. If this helped, do the obvious. Like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one where I expose 19 silent mistakes still killing automatic cars. Drop in the comments which habit you're starting first, then actually do it. Longevity isn't luck, it's habits.